Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Time to take a look at how we could line up with our new signings. I mean, Kai Havertz is the only one who has been announced so far by Arsenal, but we know Rice and Timber will be following suit. So those are the three players we're going to be focusing on, and also the rest of the players we're expecting to definitely be here next season. So we'll not include the likes of Lavi or the likes of Tien or the likes of Partey who have been linked with moves away. Just the ones we are 100% expecting to be here next season. It's going to be interesting, man. I cannot wait. I already cannot wait for how Arteta is going to field these players next season. Already very, very exciting. But first up, let's take a look at the formations we could use next season. Obviously, the formation that we're used to is a 4-3-3 from last season. Before that, we were using a 4-2-3-1 a lot, but this is the one that we're used to, a 4-3-3 formation. So I'm expecting us to use that a lot again next season, but also a few other formations. So first up is the 4-3-3. We've been using this a lot with Jurrien, Partey, and Odegaard in midfield. There will be a lot of changes there next season unless one of them ends up staying. And then obviously the forward line of Saka, Martinelli, Jesus has been doing really well, scoring goals. Odegaard as well, going into a number 10 position, scoring a lot of goals too. So that is the first formation I'm expecting us to use majority of the times. The next formation is a 4-2-3-1. So just one change in midfield. Instead of having it as one holding midfield and then one number 8 and one number 10, instead we're going to have two number 6. So two defensive midfielders plus the usual number 10. So this is the formation that we saw Arsenal using a lot over the years when he had especially Ozil. He was playing as the number 10, and behind him he had Cazorla and Coquelin. There's a time he had Coquelin and was with Flamini. There's a time Flamini was at Arsenal for like one extra season and stuff. So that is the one that we're used to before. But the 4-2-3-1 formation, I'm expecting it, especially when maybe have a lead, a 2-goal lead, and then we bring in Jurrien to play next to Declan Rice in midfield. I think we're going to see that a lot next season. But there's a couple of other formations we might not see a lot, but very interesting. It's going to be, we're going to adapt those kind of formations next season. And the first one is this, the 3-2-4-1 formation that Guardiola has been using with John Stones coming in as an extra midfielder. Now, in the team that we have right now, Timber is going to be the one doing that a lot. But we also have Zinchenko who can do that. We also have Ben White who can do that. So very exciting to see who's going to be used where, because several of our players can do all these formations. And that is where versatility becomes a very, very good ingredient to have in the team or in your food, in your rice, let's say. Very, very good ingredient you have. A lot of different players can play a lot of different formations. So it's unpredictable for the opposition team to even think about marking you and stuff, that they don't know what kind of tactic you're going to use and which player is going to play where. Maybe in some other games we will see a 3-4-3 formation with 3 center backs and also 2 wing backs. This formation won us our FA Cup back in 2020 with Arteta. Sabias was playing in midfield and Niles was playing on the wings. I think Bellerin was also playing on the wings, and it kind of worked well. It worked well for us. We won. We ended up winning the FA Cup. We could see this formation back. Then Arteta was forced to use this formation. Now I think he will use it knowing he has players who can play that formation, and also this can turn into a 5-4-1 if we're really going defensive and we have a 2-1 lead away at Bayern Munich and we're just trying to defend. This could be one that we also see, but not that many not that many times. So the 3 that you're going to focus on a lot is the 4-3-3. This one I'm expecting a lot of. Also the 3-2-4-1 formation, the John Stones kind of formation, and also the 4-2-3-1 formation. Those 3 I'm expecting a lot next season. So the 3 signings we made so far, Kai Havertz is a player who can play 5 different roles. He can play the number 8, he can play the number 10, and he can also play in the 3 forward positions up front, the Saka role, Martinelli role, and Jesus role. So we will talk about the kind of tactic we're going to use with him in the team. Also, Jurrien Timber, very exciting signing. Cannot wait for it to get across the line, because he can play as a centre back, he can play as a right back, he can play as a midfielder, he can play in a back 3, a back 4. Exciting to have him in the team. And also, finally, our biggest signing ever, Declan Rice, a player who's going to, majority of the times, is going to fill in the number 6 position, and also maybe in the Xhaka role as well in the number 8. But for now, we're not sure if Partey and Xhaka, any of them is going to remain, but maybe not. I don't think there's a chance, there's like a 20% chance one of them can remain, but I don't think both of them will remain. So we have to wait and see who leaves. So that is the formation and the players that we've signed. Now, let's get into what our squad could look like next season. I'm not a tactical genius, but I have an idea of what Arteta could use. So let's start with the new signing fast here, Havertz, and talk about the positions he can play. So Havertz, obviously, we're expecting him to be in that midfield area most of the time. Sometimes he can be here as an extra number 10, or he can be in the squad instead of Odegaard, and Odegaard is rested or rotated, or he can even play in the Saka role on the right side, or the Martinelli role on the left side. Or will we actually see him as a centre forward? I doubt, but at Chelsea, he played that position almost every single time. So Havertz, exciting to see where he fits in at Arsenal. Many people are already doubting him. So really, really hoping he hits the ground running. Next up, let's bring in Declan Rice. Our most expensive signing of all time. We're expecting him to have an impact right away. We will be expecting him to be mostly in these areas. Maybe Havertz pushes forward, Rice can cover over here most of the time. As a defensive midfielder as well, sometimes you'll be needed to come to the right side. Sometimes you'll be needed to go to the left side. But most of the times, he will be here in these roles. At West Ham, he was needed to defend a lot. He was coming to these areas over here because he was needed to defend a lot. But at Arsenal, I mean, especially in the home games, when you're not being attacked a lot and you're the ones who have 80% possession and creating chance after chance, Rice will even be outside the box here somewhere in this midfield areas, knowing he has Gabriel and Saliba behind him. So another exciting purchase. Jurrien Timber is next up. Jurrien Timber is another one who will fit into our system perfectly. He will play as a right back. He will play as a centre back. He will play as a third centre back as well. And sometimes he can play as a midfielder as well. So we'll focus on the 4-3-3 formation first. So let's bring in everyone else. Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. It's going to be interesting to see whether Zinchenko and Timber are going to be in the same team at the same time. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to because they basically do the same thing. And then let's bring all the other players. So let's bring in Martinelli into the team. What a season like he had last campaign. Same with the other side. Bukayo Saka was incredible as well. Let's just fill in all the players. Odegaard is here. Let's bring in Gabriel, Saliba as well, Zinchenko as well. And then who am I missing? I'm missing Jesus. How can I miss Jesus? So Odegaard will be back in midfield. Saka will be on that side. Jesus will be on that side. Martinelli here, Saka here, Odegaard here. So that is the first formation we are going to be using most of the time, the 4-3-3. Whether it's whether we are going to have Zinchenko, I misspelled Zinchenko, whether we're going to have Zinchenko or Timber in the same team at the same time is going to be interesting. Maybe we are going to see Zinchenko, and then on the other side, you're going to see either Tomiyasu or Ben White, or if Timber is the one playing, we could see Tomiyasu on that other side next to Zinchenko. Or we could just play it like this and just ask Gabriel and Saliba to just stay solid at the back and ask Zinchenko and Timber, you know what, just go forward as always, as fullbacks usually do. Go to these areas, Timber come to these areas, Rice come to these areas, Zinchenko can push forward. However it's going to be very exciting. Now, this formation, we are going to use it most of the times, but you probably won't use it like if you're going to away to PSG or away to Man City. I don't expect us to use this formation because you'll probably need an extra midfielder here. And with this one, Havertz says will play in the Xhaka role, but Xhaka used to come to these positions to defend all these areas, but Havertz will not be needed to do that unless Arteta completely transforms him. So we'll be expecting him to play in these kind of areas, to have a partnership with Odegaard, to have a partnership with Declan Rice, and also sometimes maybe go into the box and try and score a few goals like he did at Leverkusen. Odegaard, as always, he will be in these areas. He will be getting into the box like he did last season, scored a lot of goals. Jesus, that never stays in one position, never just stays in the box. So you might see Jesus coming into midfield and Havertz even going past him because I think in terms of Chelsea tactics last season, I think Havertz had the most runs in terms of players trying to pick his runs. He was number one in terms of that. So he was going forward and players were trying to pick him out. So if he goes here or tries to overlap from midfield and goes into the central position, Martinelli can pick a pass, Jesus can pick a pass to him, Odegaard can pick a pass to him, and Saka can also pick a pass to him. But Jesus is the one who we're expecting to be in the box most of the time. Very, very rotation friendly. Saka can get into the box. Jesus can go to the right side. Martinelli can come here. Jesus can go to the left side. Jesus can even come here, but can go to the left side. All these players are very versatile, and that is one thing that is going to help us a lot next season. We have several players who can play several roles. It's not like someone like who? let's say if you had someone like a Clichy back in the day, I don't think Clichy can come into this midfield position. Or if you had Flamini could play a few positions. I remember him playing left back, but could you really play him as a centre forward? Not really. So that's the first formation that we are going to be using a lot. Havertz in midfield with Odegaard, Jesus, and Martinelli, and then Havertz over here and Odegaard over here. So if you want Havertz to really go forward and join Odegaard in these areas up front, and for him to come here, that means you have to get someone else to protect Declan Rice in midfield. And that is where we are going to adapt the 3-2-4-1 formation that Man City have been using. So that will mean Timber comes in as a midfielder and plays next to Declan Rice. And then you have Havertz and Odegaard as 2 number 10s, and then Saka and Martinelli Jesus up front. So this allows you to have Havertz going forward, knowing Rice and Timber there to protect, but then it takes away one defender. So now this is where communication has to be really, really good. And this is why I'm saying, I'm not sure. Communication is okay, but I'm saying in terms of Zinchenko, will we really see him playing in the same team as Timber? Because if you have Timber in midfield, you're basically asking Zinchenko to stay disciplined at the back and help Gabriel and Saliba. Now, I don't expect that to happen a lot. It's either Zinchenko or Timber in the same team, unless Zinchenko plays and we really need to attack and Zinchenko comes, then we remain with only 2 centre-backs, which will leave you exposed. Because if Zinchenko goes forward like that and Timber goes forward like that, these areas over here and these areas over here will be really, really exposed. So you don't want to be exposed that much. So let's check out Zinchenko for now. Let's bring in Ben White. I think Ben White will fit into this perfectly. So if Ben White comes into this team, you have a back 3, Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White. All of them comfortable on the ball, all of them with a bit of pace as well. And if the ball is around these areas, Ben White can just come here easily, can slot in there easily because he has played as a right back before a lot for us. And Gabriel can also push in these areas. He has a physical power. He has the position awareness as well. So no problem at all. So Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White here. And then you ask Rice and Timber to play in midfield together. You have an extra midfielder. And then all of a sudden you have an extra number 10. And the opposition team will have a lot to do. They'll have to take care of Martinelli, Jesus, Havertz, Odegaard, and also Bukayo Saka. We'll bring in the opposition team later, but this is how it will look like in a 3-2-4-1 formation. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Obviously, it doesn't have to be these specific players. You can have Trossard instead of Martinelli. You could have Trossard instead of Havertz. You could even have Smith-Rowe instead of Havertz. You could have Reece Nelson instead of Saka. Instead of Ben White, you could have Tomiyasu there. You could even throw in Kivia and have him to playing next to Gabriel and Saliba. If Saliba is not there, you can have both Ben White and Timber, then ask Zinchenko to go into midfield. So if it's if let's say Timber is not available, one of the centre backs is not available, instead of Timber in midfield, you could have Rice on this side and Zinchenko in this Timber area here. So very, very flexible, very, very flexible formation. And this forward line, again, remember, it just keeps on changing. Jesus could come here, Havertz could come here, Odegaard could drop here, Jesus could drop here. It's very, very exciting in terms of the 3-2-4-1 formation. What about the 3? If you go back to a back 4, let's go back to a back 4. Let's bring back Zinch. I think in a back 4, I don't know if you're going to sign another fullback. That's another position I think we're going to add another player, and that will open up even more tactics and more doors for us in terms of playing this. So in a 4-2-3-1 formation with 2 midfielders Rice next to another midfielder, you could have Ben White at right back, you could have Saliba here, you could have Gabriel here, and then instead of Timber, you could have Zinchenko back in the team. We are going to be rotating a lot. I don't know which players will be in the first team that will play a lot of games. That is down to Arteta. But if you're playing like against Man City away and you're playing in a 4-3-3 formation, you have to turn that to a 4-2-3-1, which means maybe someone like a Havertz will have to go out, and then Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli. This can also be in the last 30 minutes of a game. Instead of having Havertz, you could just have whichever midfielder you're going to buy, whether it's Lavia or the players that you already have, Jurrien. You could have him stay there, and Odegaard and Martinelli, Jesus, Saka up front. Now, this one, Rice is the one who's going to be pushing forward, and then Jurrien is the one who's going to be remaining in these areas. Odegaard and Rice is very good in terms of interceptions and tackles. So if you can have him making those interceptions somewhere like here, it would be pretty much exciting, very, very exciting. And we have several players. Let's not forget, you could have Fabio Vieira instead of Odegaard if he picks up the form that he had back in his FC Porto days. Trossard can play on the left side instead of Martinelli. Obviously, you could have Smith as well playing on that left side like he did 2 seasons ago. It will be very rotation friendly. So let's bring back Havertz in the Jurrien role. Let's bring back Havertz in the Jurrien role back into the team. And then let's have Rice and let's have Odegaard as well back in the team and Havertz as well. So let's bring in an opposition team, right? Let's bring in an opposition team. Where the hell is that option? Yeah, add opposition team. So let's bring Jesus back here a bit. So their goalie will be here. You're expecting their back four to be here. And not even back four. Let's make it a back five, because when you're playing like against a team like Luton at home, they will be completely parking the bus. So let's make it like this. Let's have them in a back five. Let's have Jesus here, Saka here. And then they will be parking the bus. So you'll need to absolutely open them up. And it will be difficult if you only have like one number 10. We have managed it before. But you expect them to play really, really solid at the back. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So did I miss someone? Yes. So there. So if the opposition is on the pitch at the same time as well, you expect the opposition to be there. Obviously, we are not in a training match. So these areas, if they're completely parking the bus, usually we'll have Jesus here, we'll have Martinelli here trying to come up against the right wing back, and then you'll have Saka occupied the left wing back. And then over here, you usually have Odegaard here. And then sometimes you have Partey here and Xhaka in these kind of roles here. Now, all of a sudden, if you have 2 number 10s, if Odegaard is marked over here with this player, Havertz can also occupy this player. And if you're playing in because remember, we'll have an extra midfielder. Let's use White as that extra midfielder for now. Let's use Zinchenko. Zinchenko can be here. Rice can be here. Gabriel will be here. Saliba will be here. Ben White will be here. Since they'll be parking the bus, you don't need 4 defenders, and maybe you don't even need 3. So Ben White can also join here, and all of a sudden you have a lot of numbers in midfield. If you lose the ball, you have the pace of Gabriel and Saliba and the communication there, and they can cut out the threat. But here it will be interesting. If Jesus is in the box, Havertz can join in the box as well. Odegaard can come here. Martinelli can come here as well. Zinchenko can even come to these areas here, provide more attacking power as well. Rice can be here just helping with any interceptions and tackles. It would be very interesting. But Havertz, especially when the other team is parking the bus, you expect Havertz to be here and getting into the box. That can be trusted as well, and that can be anyone else that we sign as well. If you get another striker, and it doesn't have to be Jesus, it can be someone else. Then all of a sudden, defenders have more headaches to worry about. If they take care of Jesus and Saka and Martinelli, they have Havertz and Odegaard as well getting into the box later on. So quite exciting times to be an Arsenal fan. So let's use a different graphic in terms of that. This is what it would look like. So Ramsdale, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Timber, Rice, Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus up front. And if you have that team, you'll have this bench. You'll have Tan on the bench, Zinchenko on the bench, Tomiyasu is there. You can have Kivia as well. You could have Jorginho, Fabio Vieira is there, Smith Rowe is there, Trossard is there, Nelson is there. Kete could be there. We could have a different striker as well. We don't know about Lavia. Lavia could be there. Could it be Milinkovic-Savic? Could it be Cancelo? Like, we'll have a lot of different options. But this kind of team would be very exciting to have. It would be very, very exciting to have. I mean, those are the 3 formations I'm expecting us to use the most of the times. But if we have to turn like into a back 5 and you're the ones who are having to defend, obviously you could have Gabriel there, Saliba, Ben White, you'll have Zinchenko here. And obviously instead of someone like a Havertz, you could have you could bring back someone like a Tomiyasu, someone like that. Or if you sign any other defender, if Tierney is still at Arsenal, we could have it as a back 5 as well. I don't think Arteta will use this this much defensive. It will be that defensive under Arteta at all. Rice could be here. Odegaard can slot in next to him, maybe, or you could have someone else like a Jorginho as well, and then maybe drop one of the forward players. Maybe Jesus will go out, and then you bring back Jorginho. It will be interesting. It will be very interesting to see how it works out. Now, I hope that has kind of helped and given you an idea of how we could field our players. Havertz can be there instead of Saka on the right side. He can play on that right side as well. It can be Trossard can be in the striker position instead of Jesus. Rice can be next to Jorginho. Can be next to Lavia if we sign him. We could have Tomiyasu on the right side, or Ben White, or you could have Timber going forward as a right back, Zinchenko and Timber. Do you think Zinchenko and Timber will be there in the same team, doing the same thing in terms of inverting inverted fullbacks, or Gabriel Saliba. Saliba is currently injured, so will it be Ben White and Timber to start the season off together next to Gabriel Saliba, and Gabriel, Ben White and Timber next to Zinchenko? All those are possibilities. So hopefully that gives you an idea. I really appreciate you guys watching. Not a technical genius or anything, but that is what I'm expecting Arteta to be doing next season. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.